This week's Mac Voices is brought to you by Jamf Now. Jamf Now lets you manage your Apple devices from anywhere. When you first start your business, it's pretty easy to keep track of your own computer and phone. But as you grow and start to buy more tech for your employees, it gets harder and harder to keep track of everyone's Macs, iPhones, and iPads. Figuring out how to secure the iPad your sales rep lost can be tough, especially when you're in different locations. Jamf Now makes that, and a whole lot more, much easier. You can configure settings, protect sensitive information, even lock or wipe a device from anywhere. Jamf Now secures your stuff, so you can focus on your business instead. No IT expertise needed. MacVoices viewers and listeners can start securing their businesses and their devices today by setting up the first 3 devices free. Yes, that's 3 iPhones, iPads, or Macs on Jamf Now for free. And for just $2 a month per device, you can add more iPhones, iPads, or Macs. Create your free account now, today, at jamf.com/MacVoices. That's jamf.com/MacVoices. Thanks, and welcome back to Jamf Now as a sponsor of Mac Voices. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner, and this is a Mac Voices briefing on the IOGEAR Wireless HD Transmitter and Receiver Kit. So here is the problem. I had a room that I wanted a TV in, but there was no cable hookup in that room. I could have paid an insane amount of money to have cables fished through the walls and permanently installed, or tried to run a cable under a rug or around the baseboard of one room into the other, but the need just didn't justify the expense or the hassle factor. That's when I started doing some research and discovered the IOGEAR Wireless Transmitter and Receiver Kit. It appears from some of the reviews that this kind of kit is often used in the same room as the video source, but where the video source has an inconvenient placement. Say the cable comes in one wall, but you really want the TV on the opposite wall. The other use case seemed to be for those who use video projectors in their homes and need to have them in a very specific location, but don't want to be tripping over cables all the time. Whatever the reason, having a wireless solution was the ideal. The transmitter. The IOGEAR wireless transmitter is about as unremarkable as possible. It looks like an overgrown USB stick, but with a male HDMI connector rather than a USB. It plugs into any HDMI video source and transmits what is being sent out to the receiver. There's a USB mini power adapter that plugs in on the side, as well as a pairing button. The receiver. The IOGEAR wireless receiver is a small square box that resembles a resized cigarette pack with 4 legs that lift it off the surface of whatever it's sitting on, providing plenty of ventilation. On the back are ports for HDMI out, which gets connected to the TV or monitor, a USB mini port that can be used with the included wall charger, and a full-size USB port that can be connected to your TV or other device to power it if it's available. There's also an infrared in port to connect IR blasters, but I didn't test this because there was no need in my use case. The function. So here's where it gets fun. The documentation says that you have to pair the wireless transmitter and receiver, but because I purchased only one of each, the automatic pairing worked flawlessly. You can pair up to 3 transmitters to 1 receiver. That's where the included remote control comes in, but my needs were so simple that the remote never even came out of the box. The model I selected supports uncompressed full HD 1080 audio and video, streaming at up to 30 feet. IOGEAR has models that transmit farther, but that transmission power comes at a price, and 30 feet was more than enough for my needs. One big note on these kinds of transmitters and receivers. Some require direct line of sight, and they mean it. The IOGEAR wasn't the first option I tried. That other one did just fine, except that the line of sight requirement was quite literal. If I just walked between the transmitter and receiver, the picture would flicker or be lost. The IOGEAR advertises that it does not require line of sight, and that's accurate. I'm transmitting through a normal interior house wall at a distance of about 18 feet, and once the connection is made, it doesn't waver. My particular task was to take the video signal from a cable box and have it play through the TV in room A as well as on the remote TV in room B. For this reason, I also had to employ an HDMI splitter. I chose the Aukey HDMI splitter and it works perfectly. One HDMI input from the cable box goes into the splitter. One HDMI cable from the splitter goes to the TV in room A, and the IOGEAR transmitter plugs into the other HDMI port on the splitter. Note that this is a powered splitter, so you will need a small USB power adapter that's not included with the Aukey. The IOGEAR unit claims a latency of less than 1 millisecond, and I can confirm that. The audio playing on one TV in room A and that coming out of the remote TV in room B is synced. Other than turn on the remote TV when I want to use it, there's nothing else to do. It takes anywhere from 5 to 15 seconds for the transmitter and receiver to negotiate and connect, but once the connection is made, things are rock solid. The picture looks great and the audio sounds great. If I didn't tell you, you'd never know that it wasn't coming through a hardwired connection. The bottom line. The IOGEAR wireless HDMI transmitter and receiver kit, model GWHD11, comes with one transmitter and one receiver and can be had for $180.36 on Amazon. I can highly recommend this particular unit and would expect that the other options IOGEAR sells would work equally well. The IOGEAR comes with everything you need to get up and running, including USB and HDMI cables. If you opt to include the Aukey splitter, just be aware that you need to supply a USB power block or have a USB port accessible on your TV, DVD, or other video source. Being able to receive HD video wirelessly and place TVs or monitors or projectors anywhere you like really opens up the possibilities for entertainment, presentations, even gaming. If you have this need, then skip some of the other sometimes cheaper options and check out the IOGEAR first. It's worked flawlessly for me. I think it will work flawlessly for you. Until the next time, that's been a MacVoices briefing. I'm Chuck Joyner. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes, links to subscribe, and to connect with Chuck on Twitter, Google+, Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, SoundCloud, the MacVoices blog, the MacVoices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter, and on MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard that helps you do more with your Apple tech. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.